Hi, everyone, and welcome to Navigate Life Mindfully. This is episode number 8, Changing Bad Habits. I'm Ron Demonet, and my goal, as always, is to show you how much more control we have over our lives than we think we do. We are not victims. And in this process, I'm going to introduce some simple tools that you can use day to day so you can navigate life with more ease and along the way bring about some changes that you really want to make. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, that you're interested in, I ask that you please like and subscribe to the channel below and join us on the journey. So in our last episode, I gave you an assignment to read a book. I gave you some examples of 3 books that would help you learn more about yourself, help you learn what you were really passionate about. So I'm just kind of curious, how'd that go? Obviously, it took a little bit of time. Um, it's important to find out more and more about yourself. And this is a long-term process. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you make it a goal, and if you make it a habit to start reading and learning more about yourselves, the reward's going to be huge. So good luck. Keep going with that. So let's dive into this week's episode, Changing Bad Habits. Boy, this is a biggie. You know, we all know we have bad habits, things we don't like, and we all want to get rid of these bad habits, right? But it's not easy. It's doable, but it's just not easy. You know, I believe in order to really accomplish something like this, it first takes an understanding of what's happening internally, and then having the desire and the persistence to make some changes. So, the question, what is a habit? Well, a habit is an unconscious behavior. It's a usual way of behaving or a tendency that someone has settled into. And habits can be good or bad, right? We all have good habits. You know, we get up and maybe we walk in the morning, or maybe we exercise or do yoga, or we eat properly, whatever the case may be. And we also have our bad habits, right? We can snack between meals. We can spend too much time on social media, et cetera, et cetera. So all kind of habits. So to know more about it from an internal standpoint, habits are well-formed neural pathways in the brain. They're connections between neurons. And the more often a behavior is repeated, the stronger that neural pathway becomes, which means the stronger the habit becomes. I don't know if you follow Joe Dispenza, but he's always saying, you know, the neurons that fire together wire together. So is over time, every time you fire these neurons, they form a habit. They form a pathway that continues to operate. It's like muscle memory. Think about athletes. They're out there practicing all the time. They're doing the same task, the same skill over and over again. What are they doing? They're forming a habit. They're forming a habit so that they're going to be able to do it unconsciously. When they're in the middle of whatever athletic event they're in, their unconscious mind takes over, that habit is established, and they perform the way they wanted to perform. Why? Because they created a habit. Well, you know, there's good news. Our brain has a lifelong capacity to change and rewire itself, establish new habits. It's called neuroplasticity. Again, you know, we are not victims. We can make changes. We can change our life to what we consciously want it to be. I go back to an old saying by Buckminster Fuller. I mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes. And he says, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Well, think about that in habits. To change a habit, build a new habit that makes the existing habit obsolete. It's a good way to look at it. Well, I read a book by James Clear, which is really a go-to for me. It's called Atomic Habits, and I'll put a slide up that shows you what this looks like. It's an easy read, and it's got some simple easy ways to enact change when you want it. He states right up front that there is no one right way to change or establish a habit. What he describes as an approach that has worked successfully for a lot of people. He promotes making small changes and letting them build on themselves. I call this taking baby steps. And I mention this to my clients all the time. If you really want to establish a habit, if you want to change something, take baby steps. It reminds me of the old joke. How do you eat an elephant? Yeah, one bite at a time, right? I know it sounds silly, but there's a lot of wisdom to it. How often have you made a New Year's resolution to change a bad habit or develop a good habit, only to end up a month down the road just giving up? Well, trying just to do things in one big leap rarely works. It's just too hard. And so we give up. So Clear in his book states that by taking small steps, they're easier to do, number one, but they accumulate quickly, so much faster than you can even imagine. He compares it to getting compound interest on your money in the bank. The little gains you get on a day-to-day basis add up quickly, and it results in enormous gains down the road. He says that most breakthrough moments are often the result of many previous small actions, which build up the potential required to then unleash a major change. It just seems like something will happen overnight, but it didn't. It came about through small, persistent efforts. All big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. As that decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. Think about a tiny seed of a redwood tree. From a very humble beginning, it grows in time to be a giant. So anyway, going back to Clear, I would recommend this book. It's a quick read. It's got a lot of good suggestions. So now let's talk about your assignment for the coming week. Your assignment this week is to pick a small, annoying habit that you have, one that you consider to be bad and you want to change. It could be something really simple like snacking between meals or spending too much time on social media or not getting enough exercise or, the list goes on and on. Well, take time to think about potential small steps that you could take in the process so that you can change it. That is baby steps. So from the above examples, maybe not keeping the snack food in the house, putting your phone in another room so you're not always, checking the apps on your phone, or taking a 10-minute walk or every day, or stretching at certain times, etc. Be creative, but break it up and make it into very small steps. So enact your plan, and at the end of every day, I want you to review it to see how you've done. And give yourself a pat on the back for the successes that you have. Always celebrate the successes. Notice how good it feels. That's a reward. Every time you do something and it feels rewarding, it kind of strengthens that firing and wiring of neurons in your brain. And also, opposite of that, if the habit, if you break a habit every now and then, don't beat yourself up. Just double down on your intention. And so the next day, and just keep moving forward. Well, stick with this for several weeks and see how long it takes to change a bad habit into a good one that no longer bugs you. So that's the assignment. Just have fun with it. Remember, don't beat yourself up when things don't necessarily go the way you want to and you fall back into a bad habit. It's a process. It's a long-term process. But once you succeed with changing a habit, that reward will help you go on, and then you can use that same process to address other habits that you want to change or you want to develop, either way. So in our next episode, we're going to be talking about creating a balanced life. What we need to do to bring about more balance, more ease, more peace in your life. I hope you'll join me for that. Well, I'm going to wrap things up for now. Remember, I always talk about this at the end of every episode. 2 things that will make a positive change in your life immediately. Number 1, gratitude. Be grateful. Be grateful for all the good things you have in your life, even if they're small. Um, Remember that saying: the more grateful you are for the things you have, the more things you'll have to be grateful for. God, there's so much wisdom in that. When you create this feeling of gratitude, it just becomes a fertile bed for more good things to grow that you can be grateful for. So be grateful. Second thing, be kind. Just show others a little grace every day. Like I said, we don't know what's going on in other people's lives. They don't know what's going on in your life. Show some grace. Show them grace. Show yourself some grace. And just be kind. And we're talking about habits. Get into that habit of doing a random act of kindness every day. It just feels good. You'll enjoy it. So I'm going to say so long for now. That's it. If you have any comments or questions, I hope you'll go to my website, rondemonetcoaching.com, and leave me a message. Or you can go, just send me an email directly. It's rondcoaching@gmail.com. I'll try my best to get back to you either personally or on air. I ask again that you please like and subscribe to our channel below and spread the news to your friends. I really would love to get some of this information out to as many people as possible. I want to see people having more ease in their life. I want to see them being able to navigate life with more ease. So with that, I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.